In 1996, Sega developed and released Lost Bronx for domestic arcades in Japan, and in 1997 for the Sega Saturn, also within Japan, as it was a fighting game which was actually a very popular series for Sega in the mid to late 1990s. The franchise actually gave Sega a much needed boost in terms of gaming reputation and quality nationally within Japan due to the problems and situations that the Saturn gave both in Japan and abroad, as the push for Lost Bronx, promoted by Sega within Japan, was a very admirable decision done by Sega's leadership. The premise for the game had it that it was set in the late 1990s of an alternate outcome of the post-economic prosperity bubble that Japan had experienced nationally since the mid-1980s. The game's plot had it that Tokyo had collapsed into a state of lawlessness and crime was widespread throughout the entire region of Japan. The situation with the game resonated with the feelings that the Japanese public, reflected through the gaming population, had at the time. On those reasons proved to be some of the factors that led the game to be a monumental success within Japan. The franchise was so successful within the Japanese market that Lost Bronx was also put into novels, manga, and even radio broadcasts. A documentary based on the productions used to develop and create the game, as well as the characters, was also released in 1996 to help promote the game among the Japanese public. Details had it that in early development of the game, weapons used by the characters couldn't be seen by players due to how fast the game was processing data. Otherwise, aspects of the frame rate within the game needed to be changed to reflect speeds and details from the stages and characters. That further helped promote the idea of quality that Lost Bronx had in terms of a fighting game for Sega. All of these reasons and factors helped to bolster the franchise for Sega even more all across Japan. There was even a live-action movie based off the game in a straight-to-video format. But for all of the success that the game had within Japan, when released in United States arcades and later released on the United States Sega Saturn, it was a poor selling game that did not resonate with the American population at all. Reviewers at the time commented that though the game itself had impressive dynamics, the game was too Japan based, and those whom had happened to play the game outside Japan couldn't exactly understand some of the details of the game due to Japanese pop culture and references within Japan not necessarily being understood or explained outside the country at the time. Memories of Lost Bronx were so persistent that 10 years later in 2006, for the 10th anniversary of the release of Lost Bronx, it was re-released on the Sony PlayStation 2. Sometimes a character can be forgotten because they were popular in one country, but not another.